Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Tori Brame. Thank you for being here. If you are someone who has already subscribed, welcome back. Today I wanted to talk about being bedridden. I was either bedridden or on bed rest for a few years there because I went straight from being bedridden to my pregnancy with my son, and most of that was on bed rest because I kept having early labor symptoms, and so they told me I had to basically lie down until he came out of me. And then of course after he did come out of me, I was still laying down a lot because I was in a terrible flare. One of the things that is an issue with people who are bedridden, or even people who are like not necessarily bedridden but like housebound, like not really able to go out and do things, is self-worth. This is something that when I was bedridden, I did not master. I don't want you to think that, yeah, I figured the whole thing out and this is why I'm telling you about it. But I did have some things that I did that really helped. So I just wanted to share those with you today. There are 5 categories that I think are really important to pay attention to. One of them isn't a category, so I can just tell it to you now, is just let yourself off the hook. Like, so much of our culture is based on what you can do, what you can produce, and that is such a dangerous mindset to get in. Like, if I'm not accomplishing, if I'm not producing, if I'm not doing all these things, then I am worthless. Number 1, that is not the case. Number 2, it's hard to prove otherwise. I'll be the first to tell you that. Like, that's kind of how we measure. We ask somebody like, oh, what do you do for work? And, how much do you make? And, what kind of house do you live in? What kind of car do you drive? Stuff like that. And if you're housebound or bedridden, you might be lucky enough to be able to have a job that allows you to work from home, but you might not. You might be in a situation where you are relying on funds from other people or maybe the government to be able to give you money to live. When I first got to the place where I was bedridden, I was so lucky to have a really good therapist that knew what was going on. She had kind of seen me go downhill over previous months, and so she was very aware of exactly how I was and what I was doing. There were often times that I would cry in her office just about like how worthless I felt. Like, I would do nothing, I could barely go to the grocery store, and I was living with my husband. It didn't work, I felt like I had nothing to offer. And she was really good at helping me come up with coping skills and helping me get to the place where I wasn't so upset at my new life. Because this is the part of your life that you're in, even if you're bedridden for a month or 8 years. Like, this is the part of your life that you're in, and so the best you can do is make the most of it and not just focus on, I hate being here, why am I here, blah blah blah, which of course is what we all have a tendency to do because it sucks, and it sucks. So the first thing is find some kind of connection with people in the outside world. So this could be, being part of maybe a community on a Facebook group or a book club or something like that. Something where you're like watching people interact and you're a part of something. Something that I did during this time to kind of create that connection piece was I asked questions on Facebook. I really didn't feel like I had the bandwidth to carry on a conversation or even be part of a book club or anything like that. But I would just ask questions on Facebook, and I would post a question most days. I think, when I was really bad, it wasn't very often, but most days I would just post a question that I was thinking about. And it could have been something like, what is your favorite childhood memory? Or it could be something like, what are your thoughts on religion? Or something that was a little bit more explosive, especially in my circles. But it was really fun just to be able to create that kind of community feel to it. Hey.
What you doing?
YouTube.
Oh, huh? Look at that.
Hey.
Hey.
I love you. That's my boyfriend. He's hot.
I'm just here to mess with you.
I love you.
I love you.
I don't even remember where I was. With those, I didn't even have to reply to one of the comments or anything, you know, people's answers or anything like that. All I had to do was like it, and that's it. And so it was just something where I could feel the people around me, and I could have some portion of connection, but it didn't really take a lot out of me. So just maybe think about what you can do to develop some kind of connection to the outside world. Another thing you can do is do something for others. So this could be a pen pal with a little kid, like maybe a niece or nephew, or, you know, godchild, I don't even know, or somebody, you know, who's far away from you, or maybe you used to go to a community event like a church or something like that, and now you can't anymore. Just doing something like that for somebody. It doesn't have to be pen paling, it can be something else. If you have the extra resources, you might be able to, you know, donate or something like that, just to feel a part of giving to somebody else. One thing that I would do, because my love language is gifts, I absolutely love giving gifts and receiving gifts. And so my little sister was in college for a lot of that time, and so I would just send her a care package every single semester. I mean, it would take me all semester to like find little things that I thought she would enjoy, or different stuff that reminded me of her or something like that. And that was kind of my giving piece to it. Another thing that I did that I think was helpful was do something for yourself, giving yourself some kind of legacy. This could be, you know, again, if you have the mental capacity or bandwidth for it, furthering your education, or, you know, songwriting or something like that, like something where you feel like you're building something. This could be art if you're able to do that. For me, I actually wrote a book while I was bedridden, and it's really exciting because it's actually going to be coming out soon, and I'll let you guys know when it is out. But that was kind of my thing to make me feel like I was actually doing something, like I was building some kind of legacy. And some days I would write a paragraph, other days I would write an entire chapter, you know, and it wasn't about how much I did, it was just about that project that I was looking forward to, like something that I was working on that I felt like I was really doing something. The last thing is just to learn something. YouTube University is a real thing. Like, you can find so many things on there. And, you know, maybe it's just following somebody who gardens really well, and maybe, you know, you live in the city with an apartment, and gardening isn't even something that you would be able to apply, but you're learning about it and you're enjoying it. One thing that I really got into was I learned about astrology and tarot while I was bedridden. Also Stoicism and other ancient philosophies and stuff like that, and I was so consumed by it, like I was so interested in it, that it really got my mind off of everything. And I felt like since my knowledge was building, I was progressing even while I was bedridden, even while I wasn't able to do half the things that I can do now or that I could do before I was bedridden. I still felt like I was turning into a better person. I was like building on myself. So if you guys have any suggestions or anything like that for people who are watching this video and looking for some way to build meaning in their lives while being bedridden, please let me know, because, you know, your suggestions are different than mine. You guys have heard the spiel, and the more people talk about this type of thing, the more help everybody can get. So thank you guys so much for being here. If you think about it, like and subscribe, and I will talk to you guys later.